I'm not doing anything. It sounded like me when I was in like ninth grade.
Nothing.
I was gonna say no, maybe like sixth grade.
I know, maybe a little younger than that. Yeah. Well, I got us. I'm not gonna say we're on live right now, but I got us. I got a shot of this.
Yeah, no worries. So anyways, to go further, when you're thinking about making big changes, and the ultimate goal should be to be in a different, better, stronger place next year than you were the previous year.
Growth.
And I always tell people, do you know where you're headed 5 years from now? And if the answer is no, you're probably in the same place that you were 5 years ago.
Oh, goodness. Could you quote that again? Can you say that again, Koby?
Yeah, I can say it. I ask people to look at, do they know where they're going to be at 5 years from now? And if they don't, they're probably in the same place they were 5 years ago without very many drastic changes. Like your bank account is probably close to the same.
That's amazing.
Your stresses are probably pretty close to the same. It has nothing to do with being lazy, though. That's just it, dude. It has nothing to do with being lazy.
But a lot of people, like, how do we get out of that rut? Because sometimes that rut is the only thing that's holding us back. Because once we get out of there, like, everything will go up. Like, your stress level will be the only thing that's coming down.
Let me ask a question. But what if you're in a rut and you don't know you're in a rut? Then if you don't know you're in a rut, there's no reason to get out of one. So why would you make any changes?
If I'm taking L's back to back to back, I know I'm in a rut.
There's a lot of people that take L's back to back to back but can't figure out what they're doing wrong. And if you ask them to say, hey, maybe you should change this, they'll fight you and say, no, I need to do this.
Right.
Okay, well, but that's part of the reasons why you're taking L's back to back to back. So you should probably do this. They'll argue with you about their position to keep getting the same result. So how do you get through to a person like that? You can't. It's impossible. They have to arrive there first.
Sometimes, don't you think sometimes you have to walk them through like some of the smaller results first, like
you do.
Let them see take this negative out of your day,
but they have to.
And then tomorrow tell me how your day was.
But they have to be open to that.
Okay.
They have to be open to that first, right? You just can't go and tell somebody to be somebody different and they're not open to the suggestion. Because if they're not open to it, they're going to shut you down. That and everything else that comes out of your mouth.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, like right now, I mean, for a lot of people,
I'll give you a hard one. Walk up to a Christian and tell them they need to become Muslim or anything else, or vice versa.
Oh, that's amazing. That's crazy. Like walk up to anybody of a different religion and tell them they need to become another one.
That's my point.
That's crazy.
That's my point. They're going to look at you crazy and shut you down immediately.
And there's
I don't care what it is.
A lot of negativity right now that people are feeding into. Like me myself, like I don't feed into negativity. Like I maneuver around it, and I use it as kind of like a footstool, if you will, as far as like negative attitudes. And like you see like the comments that President Trump made the other day about the S-hole countries or whatever, in his opinion. And a lot of people are mad. A lot of people are offended, which they should be. I would be offended. I'm offended by it. And his approach is just like real laissez-faire about.
Man, y'all better understand. If we gonna talk about this a little bit, y'all better understand that this man is different. This man does things differently, and he does not care.
He's like the villain in the hero movie. That's like that just doesn't care. Like he wants evil, and he wants evil now. And I personally was disgusted by that.
I'm not even gonna say it's evil. He just wants his way. He just wants it his way. He wants to do things the way he wants to do it. And I don't know, man.
He has a very racist approach.
I can't agree with that. I do think that he has a very racist approach in how he does things and how things are coming out, and then coming back.
What I was kind of getting to is like people like us, being black people of African descent and whatnot, living in the country. For some people living in some places, that can be they might become not become. They might feel desperate because of that. Like, what are we, man? Like, are we asshole people? Are we just trash? Are we just nothing? Like, you could go in there. Like, I fear the day that Donald Trump goes into a church or a place of worship where there's people of diversity and race, and just goes and let loose something like that.
Yeah, see, I don't, you know,
like,
I don't really. It's just like
it's
I heard somebody
right?
say they're just watching and they're just enjoying the show because that's what it is. And
Yeah.
this show is going to play out very specifically, and it's tough for a lot.